What's up, everyone? My name is Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and let's get stuck in to our round 11 topic today. I was going to talk about high tackles, but we decided let's talk about something more interesting, a little bit ahead of the pack. Let's talk about state of origin. Now, I mean, we know, we haven't had state of origin in the AFL for a number of years. The last time we had something was like the All Stars and the Vicks in 2008. But come on, let's think about this for a bit. We just had over the weekend Victoria take on South Australia in the Battle of the Codes. So it was the VFL versus the Sandful, and it was a pretty good game, I must say. It's pretty impressive, and I think it'd be a big honour for those players. Oh, Hampson's got the ball. It'd be a big honour for those players to play in a rep game like that, to represent, as one of the best players in your league. Woo! So, obviously if you're a VFL player, representing the VFL, I think you'd be really, really happy with, obviously, the opportunity to do that, and I think that we'd have a similar sort of scenario if we did it in the AFL. Obviously, AFL is different because it'd be state-based rather than which club you actually play for. So you could be a Victorian playing for a WA club or South Australian playing for a Victorian club. That's rubbish kick. But yeah, generally that's sort of the way these Origin games go. Now, about a year ago, we had the possibility of it was thrown up in the air that the AFL were looking to play some form of representative game, whether it be Metro v Country, State versus State game at the new Perth Stadium in 2017. So prior to round one next year was when this rep game is meant to be played, and it's it still hasn't been properly announced or anything, but given the way that there is now this new finals system where round 23, then you've got a week off. You've got a bye before the finals. What do you put on that weekend? I think there's a women's game on. There's the E.J. Witten game on. Why not add on, a rep game or a state of origin game for players who aren't participating in the finals series? Now, I guess that would probably be really difficult if you've got both Adelaide and Port Adelaide playing in the finals, or both, Sydney teams playing in the finals. Actually, no, the Sydney teams wouldn't be too much of an issue because you would definitely have, the allies. So you'd have, Tasmanian players, Queensland players, etc., able to join your sides. But for sure, I think a rep game or a state of origin game, because we haven't seen it for so long, we can't really determine what we're missing out on. That was a 2-meter kick. Yeah, we can't really say what we're missing out on. I never really grew up with watching, state of origin footy as a kid in the AFL, and I did not care at all about the New South Wales versus Queensland rivalry in the rugby. So don't start throwing in, look how good state of origin is in the rugby, because it's a completely different system. State of origin is probably more important to them than whichever club wins the Premiership at the end of the day. So that's probably where the big difference lies between the two footy codes in Australia. But I think that, there's more than just those two. There's soccer as well, but they don't really have state of origin because their clubs are so, there's pretty much one club per state. So it is very much, battle of the states in that sense, except for maybe who is it? Adelaide's got one, Melbourne's got two, and so does Sydney, I think, in the A-League. But basically, it's very rare where you'll find a competition where state of origin is as big as it is in the NRL. And even in the NBA, they've got the East versus the West, but still, it's whoever wins the championship game, or the championship series, the NBA Finals, which is coming up very shortly. Game 7 at Golden State. Is that on? Is that today? No, it's probably something. But like, why? I think it would definitely be super great viewing. I know that's such high quality words that I'm using there, super great viewing, because the competition now, there's so much talent spread across 18 teams that it is going to be very rare that even if you do have like first place against second place, where you do have 20 stars out on the field, there's always good players and B grade players. But then what if we've got the bottom 10 teams who didn't play in the finals, and you have them playing off, oh, well, not playing off, but playing in a state-based game. So you could have two state-based games. You could have WA v the Allies, and then Victoria v South Australia, which is every 2 or 3 years in the VFL, I think. But they want it to be every year. I think they want it to be every year, just because it is such a big rivalry. But in the AFL, for sure, I think the only thing that would make it really difficult is if both, Adelaide clubs or both WA clubs are actually playing finals. I think that would make it difficult. But that's why they were throwing up the other idea of, do we just play one rep game where it's Metro v Country? So if you were born in the country, obviously you play for country. In terms of like the under 18 leagues, Victoria have Vic Metro and Vic Country. So we actually have two, under 18 teams. One is, country-based players, one is Metro-based players. So if we did that entirely of the 10 teams, you'll get a much better, I guess, competitiveness maybe than if you did state v state and there was, a couple of teams that were, lacking star power because of players missing finals. I mean, we get the same discussion every year about State of Origin. Is it going to be a good thing for the game? Like, should we bring it back? And you just never know, really, because especially like for myself, I haven't really grown up with it. I haven't seen like a lot of it. I've only really seen the EJ Witten game and the one All-Stars game versus the Vics back in 2007 and 8. So it's definitely been a while since there has been a rep game of that caliber. Because that was really the last time we did a rep game. So that's almost, 10 years ago now. Which is crazy to think that. So 10 years later, we're still having the same discussion of whether or not we bring it back. And we're still nowhere closer to seeing what could actually happen. But I think the problem with the AFL system was, it was always a problem of when are we going to have it? Are we going to have it before the season? Are we going to have it at the end of the season, or like as a post-season game? And now I think that with this finals before the finals start, that it actually does give us the perfect opportunity to insert a game in there, some sort of representative game, whether it be state or Metro v Country game, to be played. You could limit the number of players that get played per club. I think that's what they were planning on doing with the Perth game that was going to happen, or that's, was being thrown around for next year, is that they were going to, limit it to 3 or 4 players per club. So that way, if you get injuries, you're okay. I mean, you only need 44 players, right? But you'd probably put like 25 players, 20, 26, 27 players per team in a rep game, just because you wouldn't want the, intensity to be as high if it was a pre-season match. You wouldn't want as many minutes into your players, and I think that's where coaches would probably get involved and be like, well, I don't want this player playing in the game because I want them for the real season, kind of thing. So that's where I think this post-season would be better, because that way you're not playing off for, a final spot or premiership points. It's at the end of your season, your club's season is over, and if you're one of those bottom 10 sides, then that's enough for you. So that's pretty much my stance on it. Takes one on. Oh, we're cooked here. This main goes inboard. Finds Pav. Matty Pav. The Pavlich. What a champion player Matty Pavlich has been. Oh dear. He's gone with the left foot for his set shot. But let's talk about Pavlich for a bit here. I mean, it's probably going to be his last year of his career here. I would be probably safe to assume that. But if he played for a Victorian club, he would be regarded as, you know, one of the best ever. You know, one of the best forwards in the comp. Like, which he was. You know, oh my god. Benell. Take, instead of Pavlich, Aaron Fiora, yeah. They're finally on the board through Benell. Hampson getting brutally destroyed in the hitouts. Go Koch, contested ball. Oh, he takes him on. It's Delidio from 50. Long kick, goal square, got it. Go. He'll have a kick, goes in the Rioli direction. He's right on the 50. It's probably over his limit. This guy just have a little bit of a lead. Who's that? That's Benny Griffiths, I think. Just slots into the hole there. Just beautiful work. And he's going to line up from 45 to win the game. He's got it. From the Lloyd pocket. Gee, this is just a shellacking, isn't it, really? It looks like that's going to be the full time. Siren unless there's a mark. Ooh. Deliberate. Deliberate. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the State of Origin. Yeah, like what did I talk about today? About State of Origin coming back to the AFL or rep games or something like that. I think it'd be, you know, a really interesting scenario there. Delidio, clearly the best man on this game. 12 touches, just double that of anyone else near him. But yeah, I think that for sure, State of Origin would be cool. Let me know what you think. A big thumbs up if you did. Enjoy today's video, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. You can click here to watch last week's video where we talked about something. And you can click here to watch my AFL Live 3 top 5 features that I want to see most. So, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see all of you guys later.